Hey guys, been a while, and yes, it's this late to where I'm trying to do a workout while also filming videos. And I say videos because, well, technically, it's been 2 months since my last video, and that was my last reaction to that Loud House text movie they said I was going to stop doing. And I never posted Cringe of the Month. Fun fact, February kind of just died off. And yeah, it's the end of the month, and I haven't made either Cringe of this month. I know I didn't make Cringe of last month. So, yeah, we're getting one of these while I work out and try to tell or talk while making this video of episodes 45 and 46 of Cringe of the Month. This is probably my latest I've ever been for these. First, let's do Cringe of last month. Not a movie or anything like that. It's wrestling fans. Wrestling fans, and I know wrestlers themselves have gimmicks of like talking trash and like insulting wrestling fans. But in looking at this, they are completely right. Wrestling fans are the most indecisive people, some of the most indecisive people on the planet. They will beg for certain people to win the world's championship or just a championship, and then like a week later they'll turn on them, saying the reign isn't that good, or that they now see that they're overrated or some bull crap like that. Like here's a queen one, Liv Morgan. People since 2019 were begging Liv Morgan to win the championship, whether it be the Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown, or even the tag titles with Ruby Riott as the reformed Riott Squad. Never happened. Then came Money in the Bank, 2022, where Liv won Money in the Bank, then cashed in, which is what you're supposed to, on Ronda Rousey, and won the belt. Gave it one title defense, and then fans immediately started turning on her and booing her out of the building. So stupid, man. I call them bandwagoners. Fans who are not fans, they just hop on whatever trendy thing, like the it flavor of the month, where they'll find the popular wrestler, and then they'll hitch their bandwagon to them, and the second even an inch of momentum is lost, they jump off the bandwagon. Another example of this is MJF. And I blame MJF for one major thing when it comes to professional wrestling fans. He introduced them and truly made it a thing for wrestling fans to say the phrase mid. I don't know if he was the first to say that, but he was damn sure the guy who made it popular to say that crap. That stupid, oh, this is mid. This is that freaking promo in the Mid-South. Or the Midwest. Yes, that's where it all started, with a freaking insult promo. And turned into all this BS that wrestling fans now use just to exclaim their hatred for something using the phrase mid. It is so irritating. More with MJF. How many years were fans of AEW and more bandwagoners saying MJF is the future, needs to win the world's championship? Well, now he's the world's champion. What do you got to say now? Oh, his reign's not good enough for you? Not the reign you expect. What did you think was going to happen with MJF as world's heavyweight champion? You think he was going to be John Cena, where he would put the belt on the line every week? No. The minute and the second I saw that MJF won the world's championship, one, I acted like a real fan of Jon Moxley, and was so disappointed. I was saddened by William Regal turning on Blackpool Combat Club. Because I, for a while, thought that, and I'm a fan of Blackpool anyway, I thought this would lead to like MJF being like the anti-hero of the Blackpool Combat Club. I thought the same thing, though, with Daniel Garcia. That storyline is dumb. I do hope someday the JAS does die. Oh. Yeah. Ever since he won the AEW World Championship. I believe I have that here. Where is it? There it is. I see it. Ever since he won this and replaced it with the Triple B, People had started complaining. But now, the fans are back on MJF's side since they now are getting a fatal 4-way, hopefully, please AEW. Fatal 4-way for the World's Heavyweight Championship of what people will call the Pillars 4-way. MJF defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Darby Allin, who cut one of the best promos against MJF and all of the other pillars. Sammy Guevara representing Sports Entertainment. And Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. I cannot lie. If this Fatal 4-Way does happen, my favorite is Jack Perry. Will he win? No. Will Sammy win? No. Will Darby win? No. There's no doubt in my mind that AEW is going to have MJF be World Heavyweight Champion until 2024. At best, we're looking at a reign that'll end probably around mid-December. But am I going to enjoy it? Of course, because I love professional wrestling. And that's something I feel like is lost on fans nowadays, is just loving professional wrestling. Whether it's this company, whether it's this company, whether it's Ring of Honor, which is back. I need to find the channel that they are on. I love Ring of Honor. I've said before, they were especially in COVID era of wrestling, they were the saviors of professional wrestling. Whether it's WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, or even Impact. Any company, if you're a fan of pro wrestling, just be a fan of pro wrestling. Someone shouldn't judge you, or shouldn't be judged for liking a product. That's something I will never understand for as long as I live and for as long as I am a pro wrestling fan. I do not understand why liking AEW or liking WWE makes you the immediate enemy of the other brand. I am in the middle. I just love pro wrestling. I love AEW. I love WWE. I love Impact. I love Ring of Honor. I love AAA. I love New Japan. I love the NWA. If it's professional wrestling, I love it. But for some reason, if fans just say, I like AEW, or just someone says, I like AEW, you'll get a bunch of people going, oh, why? Their booking's terrible. Oh, this person isn't being used. Oh, this person should be the push. This person should be in the main event. Blah, blah, blah. The one thing I will agree on sitting with AEW is this. Their oversaturated roster, which is the reason they have 4 shows. Dark, Elevation, Rampage, and Dynamite. And people say, oh, no one watches AEW freaking Dark and Elevation. That's because they're not made to be shows like AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage. Dark is made for the faces on AEW Dynamite, on Rampage, to get more wins, to have just more time. Elevation is used, I see it as kind of a AEW NXT kind of thing, where it's the new faces. Same thing with Dark. Dark and Elevation are used as kind of developmental, or just to see who fits and who they can bring back and who they can use. That's what those shows are for. If you want just the main characters of the show, just watch every Wednesday. Just watch Dynamite. Go watch Rampage. Watch that. But if you want to see other talents that aren't being... Plus, this is what also it's used for. If you want to see talents that aren't used regularly on Dynamite or Rampage, watch Dark. Some of my favorite matches come from AEW Dark, mainly from the Jurassic Express tag team run. I love those tag matches on Dark. They're so fun. But yeah, I don't get it. If you like pro wrestling, you should just be a fan of pro wrestling. It shouldn't matter what company it is. Alright. So yeah, bandwagon fans, 2 words for you. Suck it. Also, I have heard the rumors of Triple H wanting to bring back a new championship if Cody Rhodes wins, and people have theorized it's going to be the big gold championship. And I saw another person say that they would look to see. Where is it? What the devil is it? Okay, turning on the bag. No one said they would love to see the Winged Eagle Championship return. My whole thing is this: if you have an undisputed champion, there should only be one belt, whether it's the singles competitors or the tag team. That's another thing. Why get rid? If you have two titles, have two champions. If you have one championship, use one title. That's just my opinion. Always has been with wrestling. Undisputed championship belt. Anyway, that's it for episode 45. Now on to episode 46. An actual Cringe of the Month movie edition. In this movie, I will admit, this was kind of like a Thor Love and Thunder thing where I never saw the previous movie, and I was any properties around this character until this movie. But I love this movie, and it is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I watched this movie 2 nights ago. I freaking love it. I was spoiled a little bit on TikTok with Death in the Corner and Jack Honer. Man, because they are, you're not gonna shoot a puppy, are you? Yeah, in the face. Why? Didn't stop me from enjoying it. I can completely agree with what people are saying about Death. Death being one of the best, if not the best villain DreamWorks has ever made. Shen was the best. Then came Death. Jack Honer, he is the best, irredeemable villain I've ever seen. And I also agree with something I saw a reaction to. The best villain of 2023 is now a freaking animated wolf. There's not much to say, complaint-wise. There's nothing bad in this movie. All the characters have just the right amount of screen time, with the main character having the most screen. The lovable sidekick, the freaking dog Perito, he makes the dumb sidekick look so adorable. Goldilocks and the Three Bears, they had a good amount of screen time to actually get into their characters. Even Death, in the few minutes he was on screen, you felt how much of a threat, how much impact he had in every second he was on the screen. Jack, while he was a complete dick, he was entertaining. He was an entertainingly Jack's villain. And the fact that he's pretty much killed every fairy tale or hunted them down is hilarious to me. And the fact that I put this together while watching this, the fact that they made the villain in a fairy tale, a nursery rhyme character, brilliant. The animation, spectacular. I can say nothing about the animation that hasn't already been said. The music, I've been listening to Fearless Hero for so many months, and now for the past few days, I've been listening to Death. Such a weird freaking listen. And I'll admit, I only watched the first 2 Shrek movies. I never watched Shrek the Third. I never watched Shrek Forever After. If they make a new Shrek with Puss in Boots returning, I think that was kind of what drove me out, the lack of Puss in Boots after I was in it. Because I just want to say, not that I watched Shrek the second Shrek movie because of Puss, but it is crazy how popular this freaking cat got after just a sequel to a movie that was already beloved. The fact that he was just came up as a character trying to kill Shrek, that became his friend throughout the rest of the movie. The fact that he got just as popular as Shrek, spawning a spin-off movie and a series, is insane. It's the kind of thing done right where the side character can show that he can hold the main event, or the main character. A show that did not do this was Planet Sheen. But yeah. Story, animation, character, everything is so good. There is nothing wrong with this movie. But then I saw this video comparing DreamWorks and Disney in 2023. And the video was comparing Puss in Boots to Turning Red. And no, I've seen both these movies, so I can give my opinion on them. I love Turning Red. Well, I love Turning Red after the panda stuff was starting to happen. When it was just Mei Ling having to deal with these little issues, and I get it. It's a fine movie. I actually really love the movie. Just that first part of the movie, just I didn't like. Puss in Boots hooked me through the whole thing. But then I started to think, okay, how actually can these movies be compared? And when it comes to audiences and critics, they are very tied. Rotten Tomatoes, I believe, gives them both a 95, and they're so close to 10 out of 10 on each other. But then came to this factor, the fact that Turning Red had more money going into their movie than Puss in Boots. For those who do not know, Puss in Boots' Last Wish had a budget of $90 million, while Turning Red had a budget of $179 million. Now, I could probably blame this on COVID restrictions still being a thing when Turning Red was coming out or not. I do not know. Or maybe gas prices going up. But that's definitely a reason a good reason to consider why Ant-Man and the Wasp did not do so well at box office, because people don't want to spend so much money on gas now to get to a theater. Or have a theater be the reason they probably will need gas in a few days. But, so those were the budgets. Box office, Turning Red with $179 million turned in $20 million. Again, you can probably blame this on a little more residual effect of the virus and all that crap happening. Whatever. Puss in Boots turned in $449.2 or $0.5 million at box office. So when it comes to audiences and critics, the movies are genuinely tied. But when it comes to the budget and box office comparison, Puss in Boots beats them. Which I think why Disney... this is a movie that proves what the Disney formula for today is stupid. It's proving that Disney should not be focusing on trying to have the movies be woke or have this inclusiveness. A movie should entertain you. It should hook you, and it should hold you through its allotted time. While Disney movies can't do that, a lot of the time they are also trying to get this little inclusiveness woke thing with them, which comes back to bite them in the rear. Well, DreamWorks turned in this and The Bad Guys. Now, I'll admit I have not watched The Bad Guys fully. I have heard as well great things about that movie. I'm gonna add to the collection someday, but I'm not that exactly interested in collecting it as I was with Puss in Boots. So yeah. I mean, true. I do love when you rewatch it, you see more. This is a movie with a lot of rewatchability, not just for being a good movie, but the fact that every time you watch it, you'll notice a little more details. Like, first time I watched it, I didn't know that while counting down Puss's lives, in the corners of the screen, of the black box screen, where it counted the lives in the red and black, the corners were death. And apparently in the giant Titan fight in the beginning of the movie, you can see Death watching Puss in the background. I almost wonder if he's in a random place or a really low place in all of his death somewhere. Like you see maybe his sickle or you see his tail or something like that. It'd be awesome. So, then the fact that you can just rewatch this. I've watched countless reactions already to this movie and I've yet to get bored. Because it's another thing with this movie. Unlike a few Disney movies that have come out in the past few months and the past year. I'll stick with past months, years. Can't do it long. This movie is insanely quotable. There are so many good quotes that people will... I have constantly been saying. Mainly the, fear me if you dare. But you can also call that back to Shrek 2 being quotable. I've been quoting death a lot. Mainly the, I am death. You all know about the hunter. Death. Not that metaphorically, not theoretically, not poetically, not any other fancy way. I am death. Straight up. I've been hearing those scenes, man, not just from watching reactions. I've heard them in my head on rewind so many times. Yeah, not much. Actually, there is one extra thing I will say about this, at least my copy of the DVD. It includes a short called The Trident, which is a little backstory on one of Boos's freaking deaths, the cannon. Where, spoiler for this little short, the whole reason he was in that cannon is because he couldn't admit that Kitty saved his life. Anyway, that's truly now it for episodes 45 and 46. And I'm just now noticing how okay this is going to be. April 1st, tomorrow, there will be a special video I will make about Pokemon. Mainly, how we can now come to terms with the passing of the torch. See you guys.